Good day, YouTube. A Tits Beer Bong 420 beer video. I didn't say review because it's a beer I've had a lot before. Like when I was a lot younger and didn't know most of the beers I know now, it was something I would buy and maybe even find more often than I do now. Because in my early days, most of the beers I was finding in most of the places I could like travel to and get different things, they didn't have like the craft brew series out and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff I was drinking was basically just like these lagers and malt liquors that you would find in like 22-ounce bottles, 40-ounce bottles, 24-ounce cans, or buying cases of stuff. Because some areas you could get the case of certain beers cheaper than other areas, or couldn't get them in other areas. So I was drinking a lot of like malt liquors and lagers, and some of them it's like some areas had both versions. Some areas only had one because maybe it was like a 5 or 6% beer, and then there was like an 8 or 10% beer version type thing. Well, some people, when you say Red Bull to them, all they think about is the energy drink by a company that's called Red Bull. Well, did you know the Red Bull company also does Red Bull Cola? Whether it's made anymore or not, I don't know. But Red Bull Cola, I haven't had that in a long time. Same with probably Red Bull. Now, Red Bull Cola was not an energy cola. It was this cola that was different tasting than most colas I've ever had, because it's said to be that's how colas are meant to taste. And you couldn't buy it everywhere in the world because they're claiming they didn't clean the cocoa leaves 100% well. So they're claiming there was a tiny little trace of cocaine in those Red Bull colas. Whether they make them anymore or not, I don't know. And if you wanted the cocaine high, you'd have had to drink like hundreds or thousands of the cans. But by then, you wouldn't be able to get to that level to get the cocaine high because of all the caffeines and sugars. So it was a different taste than cola. I used to drink a bunch of them years ago when I could get my hands on them sometimes, and then I got tired of it. Well, Red Bull, it's not just an energy drink here, folks. It's a beer as well. It's a beer that's made in Canada, I think 5.5%, but you have to buy a case of it. So I've never had that version before. But the American version, maybe your area has different sizes for it, but in my area, you can only get the 710 milliliter 24-ounce cans of it. It's a 2-serving can. I mean, not my area. I'm just saying, like in general, out this way, the Red Bull I can get singles of, because some stores that used to sell it don't anymore and stuff. And the American-made Red Bulls, they used to be in this black can with an actual bull on it that was red. But back then, it was only made in like La Crosse, Wisconsin. Then when where is it? Try to say the right place. I don't see it listed here anymore. Oh yeah, here it is. It used to be only in La Crosse, Wisconsin, but when the cans changed their look, it also was allowed to be in Latrobe, Pennsylvania for a brewing version. So Red Bull, the American version, you can get it either made in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and these days Latrobe, Pennsylvania. So this can version has been around for a while. It's still the same drink. I liked it when only La Crosse had it and the cans looked better. It's Red Bull Strong Beer. It's 7.1% alcohol. Because look at it. It used to be black. It used to have like the bull like over here in red. Now look at it. Just with like some barley malt type thing. Now back in the day, I used to drink a lot of these because it was the type of stuff I was drinking. I didn't know as many beers as I know now. And look at the size and percentage. You get quite a bit to drink. You get a good percentage. You'll get a buzz off it. Sometimes I might have just drank it on its own. Sometimes I probably drank it with some cannabis in between. Ugh. It's been a while since I've had one, but the last one I had, I didn't like, but I drank it to remind myself how it was from way back in the day. So I kind of got memories with these. It reminds me of like times on my own drinking these and smoking weed with them. Maybe I just drank some on their own before. And I remember sometimes hanging out with friends and Not drinking these with them, but picking them up while we were out, you know. So, came across it again, thought, why not? So if I want this Red Bull, I can't get it any bigger or smaller. I know this glass won't fill up the whole thing, but I'm going to use it. The Steam Whistle boot glass. I could have grabbed 2 of these cans, but then you'd have more than this thing can handle. Because 24 ounces, 710 milliliters, 2 of them would be 48 ounces. And I think this thing, if you don't count the head, can only hold up to like 32 ounces, a liter of liquid, I believe. But the head will change that up. And I haven't, so since I don't really drink these a lot anymore, folks, because I can't always find them as well, and it was a thing of the past I used to drink when I was younger, I thought I'd show a video with it. So as you see, slow but quicker pour. You still get lots of head, you still get some room for more. And since it's just a high gravity, higher percent lager, comes out pale golden. There's not a lot of carbonation to it, but I can see some in spots. And I can see through it a bit. But when I see through it, looking at the screen, I can't see what I'm looking at. But I can see something kind of blurred or something. And I don't know. It's not a strong smelling lager, and it's just a light smelling lager. I'm going to let some of that head settle and grab something. It's not a re-review, and it's not a review as in it's my first time with it. It's just something that when I was younger and didn't know like the craft beer scene yet and stuff, I drank a bunch of these because look at the percentage, 7.1%, and look at the size, 2 servings of beer worth. And if you're having a weed session with it, you get fucked up. The last one I had, whenever that was, I didn't like it though. But whatever. The store I was in had it. So I'll just take a bong work and sip some of it. And you can listen to the audio of what I'm watching. If I can get the volume up. Peace and pot. Cheers. Just that sip there, I can tell it's one of those lagers that when I was younger, fuck yeah, but now that I'm older and my taste buds change or whatever, not so much fuck yeah. And when it comes to different styles of lagers, any type of lager, that's like the worst style to have high alcohol content for, because some super high alcoholic lagers are just disgusting. You're better off with like a high percentage like stout or porter or whatever. Oh, you gotta see this. You missed out on a fight. Anyways, lagers for what styles of beers come out this way, because if you ask me, our liquor store people, I think, are what determine what our liquor stores and beer stores get, and it's controlled at the liquor store, so we're limited to what we can get. But anyways, for what styles of beer I know and what beers I know, lagers are probably the worst style to have in higher alcohol content, because some of them, so I'll just take a bong rip and drink a little before I blow the bong rip out. Sorry that the time went quickly. I'm not sober, so it happened fast. So the bud gave me a bit of a tickle. It's giving me its buzz from the THC. The Red Bull Lager, when I was younger years ago, I liked it and could get a good buzz off it, whether I had a weed session with it or not. These days, it's not that as great tasting as it used to be. This video, I can't believe how long it is. Woo!